Welcome to Sportpen.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving into the story of Björn Borg, an absolute legend. And we're not just, listing scores. We want to trace those key moments, that incredible determination he had, and those performances that just changed the game.
Right. They really redefined tennis in many ways.
Exactly. We're trying to get at what defines that kind of greatness. How did these figures just rewrite the history books?
Well, Borg's story is fascinating right from the start. It almost didn't happen tennis-wise.
Wow.
Yeah, born in Sweden, 1956. Flag Day, actually. His parents ran a grocery store. But his first love, sport-wise, ice hockey.
No way. Ice hockey.
Yep. Played center, apparently had dreams of playing for the junior national team.
Yeah.
A completely different path he could have taken.
You can't make that up. An icon of center court dreaming of slap shots. So what happened? What nudged him towards tennis?
It was kind of a chance thing. His dad, Rune, played table tennis.
Okay.
And he won a local tournament, and the prize was a tennis racket.
Just like that.
Just like that. He gave it to Bjorn, who was about 9 at the time. And that gift it sparked something.
Clearly. It obviously landed in the right hands. Must have shown talent pretty quickly.
Oh, definitely. By age 10, coaches noticed him, specifically how consistently he could hit the ball back, and with surprising power for a kid that age. Percy Rosberg, who was like the top coach in Sweden then, spotted him. He was actually in town scouting older kids, but Borg just stood out.
Wow. The classic diamond in the rough story. So Rosberg took him under his wing.
He did. Invited him to train at the Salt Club in Stockholm, which was a big deal.
Yeah, that's a major commitment for a 10-year-old, commuting and all that.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about his mindset early on?
Incredible dedication, right? For 5 years, apparently, he kept up this intense schedule. School, then commute to Stockholm for training, then back home.
Wow.
That kind of focus. It suggests this amazing inner drive. And yeah, it apparently affected his score. Tennis clearly became the priority.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear signal. But, the Iceman persona we all remember.
Yeah.
That wasn't always there, was it? I heard he was actually pretty fiery as a kid.
Oh, completely different. It's fascinating. Between 9 and 12, he was apparently quite the hothead on court.
Really? Like how?
Throwing rackets, shouting, arguing calls. He even called himself a nutcase looking back.
That's almost impossible to picture. So how did he become Mr. Cool? That shift is massive.
Well, the story goes, it was his parents. They basically gave him an ultimatum.
Okay.
One more outburst, and that was it. No more tennis.
Seriously.
Yep. And apparently it worked, like an overnight change in his on-court behavior. It's incredible how that moment shaped the Iceman. Shows amazing self-control even then.
Talk about a turning point. That early lesson obviously paid off. And with that new composure, he started making waves.
Big time. The breakthrough came in 1972. He was only 16, and he became the youngest guy ever to win a Davis Cup match for Sweden.
16. Winning in the Davis Cup, that's huge.
Massive. A clear sign of what was coming.
So it wasn't long before he turned pro after that, I imagine.
Nope. Turned pro in 73, and pretty quickly he was a name on the ATP tour. And, the look became iconic too, the headband, that super calm vibe.
Yeah, the headband is legendary. But early on, people thought of him more as a clay courter, right? There were doubts about him on grass at Wimbledon.
Oh, definitely. A lot of skepticism. And interestingly, he didn't really play grass warm-up tournaments before Wimbledon.
Really? How did he prepare?
He'd just go to England for a couple of weeks after the French Open and practice. He and his coach knew those first few rounds at Wimbledon would be tough.
And they sometimes were, weren't they? He had some close calls early on in some years.
He did. Nearly lost to Victor Amaya in 78, Vijay Amritraj in 79. Survived some real scares.
So those early Wimbledon wins weren't just handed to him. He had to grind them out. And wasn't there something about the weather for his first win in 76 against Nestades?
Yeah, that's right. It was unusually hot and dry that year. Some people said the conditions, faster, higher bounces, suited his baseline game, made it seem like maybe it was a bit of a fluke. But then 1977 happened. He completely shut down the doubters.
How so?
Well, first off, the weather was wet and heavy that year, typical Wimbledon conditions. And, controversially, he'd actually skipped the French Open.
Skipped the French?
To play world team tennis in the U.S., mostly for the money, it seems. He later said he regretted that decision.
Wow, that's quite a choice, missing a slam.
Yeah. But despite all that, he won Wimbledon, beat Jimmy Connors in the final. That victory really proved he could master grass, no question.
Missing the French, dealing with doubters, and then winning Wimbledon against Connors.
Yeah.
That's a huge statement. Shows incredible adaptability.
And it basically kicked off this era of just unbelievable dominance. From 76 to 80, think about it. 11 Grand Slam titles.
11 in 5 years.
6 French Opens, and those 5 Wimbledons in a row.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Didn't he win some of those French Opens without dropping a set? That's where the Iceman nickname really took hold. Right?
Exactly. 4 straight French titles, no sets dropped in some of them, solidified him as maybe the best clay courter ever. Just ice cool under pressure.
And doing the Channel Slam, winning Roland Garros and Wimbledon back-to-back, he did that 3 times.
3 times, which is just insane when you think about how different those surfaces are.
It really highlights his versatility. We think of the baseline game, those amazing passing shots against the net rushers.
That's lethal, yeah. But he wasn't just a baseliner. He developed a really effective serve and volley game, too. You had to win Wimbledon 5 times back then.
Right. And you can't talk about Borg without mentioning the rivalries. Connors, and especially McEnroe. Legendary stuff.
Oh, absolutely essential to the story. Those matches against McEnroe and Connors were just electric. Must-watch TV. Pure sporting drama.
That 1980 Wimbledon final against McEnroe. People still talk about that one.
Considered one of the greatest matches ever played. Full stop. That 4th set tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Unbelievable tension.
1816, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Just epic. And Borg dug deep to win it in 5 sets, 8-6 in the 5th.
Just an iconic moment in sports history. Which makes what happened next even more shocking. He retires at 25.
Yeah. Pulled the plug in 1981. He'd won the French Open that year, but then lost the Wimbledon and U.S. Open finals to McEnroe. And then he was done.
25. That's peak age for most athletes. Why? What did he say?
He basically said he was burnt out. He'd had enough of the constant grind, the pressure. He just wanted a different kind of life, away from the tour.
Burnout after that kind of intense success and fame.
Yeah, and his coach was apparently stunned, thought he had loads more slams left in him. Disappointed, you know?
I can imagine. And the pressure must have been immense. He was the first tennis player to earn over $1 million in prize money in one season, right?
Yeah, 1979. That kind of money, that level of fame, it just ramped up the scrutiny. Borg himself said privacy was a big factor in retiring. He just wanted a normal life, or something closer to it.
So the weight of being Björn Borg just became too much. It really makes you consider the mental toll at that level.
Absolutely.
And life after tennis.
Yeah.
It wasn't entirely smooth sailing for him, from what I understand. He went into business.
He did. Launched his own clothing line, Björn Borg Fashion.
Right, I remember that.
But he hit some serious financial problems. Reports suggest it was down to mismanagement by people around him, friends, associates.
That's tough.
Yeah, and there were other struggles too, reports of gambling issues, and his personal life was very public, especially his marriage to Loredana Berthet. It sounded quite tumultuous.
It seems like adjusting to life outside that intense bubble of pro tennis was really difficult. There were some pretty concerning reports, even a book written about it all. Financial issues, business problems.
Yeah, tough times. There were headlines about alleged substance abuse, even a reported suicide attempt, although that incident was officially called food poisoning later. It shows how challenging that transition can be, even for someone so incredibly successful.
Definitely. But despite this short career, relatively speaking, and those later difficulties, his legacy in tennis is just immense.
Undeniable. One of the absolute greats. He and Federer, the only guys in the Open era to win 5 Wimbledons in a row.
That stat alone is incredible.
And around 100 career tournament wins. First man in the Open era to hit 11 slam titles before he even turned 26.
Just staggering numbers. And his impact went way beyond just winning, didn't it?
Yeah.
He helped make tennis huge in the 70s.
Oh, massively. He brought this rock star level of stardom to the sport. His look, that whole aesthetic, the long hair, the headband, it became the image of a tennis player for a whole generation. It's still iconic.
Yeah, it really is. Some people even argue that the way tennis is played today, the baseline dominance,
Yeah.
that it all started with Borg, that he fundamentally changed the game.
It's a strong argument. He was revolutionary, not just excellent.
And rightly inducted into the Hall of Fame, of course.
1987, yeah. He had that brief comeback attempt in the early 90s, used his old wooden racket, which was interesting.
Right. Didn't go so well, did it?
Not really. But he's been visible more recently, coaching Team Europe at the Laver Cup, things like that. And by all accounts, he seems to be doing well now, which is good to hear.
That is good. But yeah, it's that first dominant part of his career that we all remember.
That's his legend.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on Björn Borg,
Yeah.
we've seen the almost accidental start, the incredible drive from such a young age, the forging of that Iceman composure, and just sheer dominance, he absolutely rewrote the tennis history books.
He really did. And it leaves you with a thought, doesn't it? How much do an athlete's personal life, their choices, their struggles off the court, how much does that ultimately shape and maybe even limit their legacy, even for someone as iconic as Borg?
Yeah, that intersection of the on-court genius and the off-court human reality. It's fascinating. Definitely something for all of you listening to think about.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this exploration of Björn Borg's incredible story.
Been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Sportpen.